Yawe.
Ayihlupha lana kuba uJomoson. Yimu cameraman, yimu sound engineer. Yimu Jomo, drive bus. What do you think of the thing that I sent you? The Chris Brown letter.
I don't even want to give the other people publicity for the things that they're saying. Because what exactly do they want? So what should happen? Should we now, those 20,000 people, should we not go watch because we want to watch because of something that was resolved many years ago?
The argument is that having Chris Brown to come to perform in South Africa is sending the wrong message. Now the truth is that we also know the truth that actually Rihanna started the hitting him and whatnot. Isn't that we know that now? Let's not behave like when a woman is suspecting you of cheating, like they do not like fight or hit you, something like that. Like women are like that. They do this and they get away with it because it's never characterized as abuse when they do it, not to defend Chris Brown, by the way, not to even defend that fact. It's just that we all know the truth now. Like regardless that it's Chris Brown, he deserves to go to jail because even if Rihanna did beat him or hit him, I don't think that that was the way to resolve from him. I don't think he should have hit her back. Actually, we all know. I said this to you before. I've gotten my slap from a woman and I didn't hit her back. This is how it is, dog. Because when we go back to the actual issue, we know that Rihanna started the thing. So now what? And that was not even the point to begin with, because nobody wanted to go back and say, hey, let's blame Rihanna. No one said that. But the fact that now you are bringing this up, you are blocking a man's life, saying he can't perform in South Africa. Fine, Chris Brown took the blame, accepted it, and went to jail, came out, said he did a community service. That was the thing. He did that, so he paid. So I don't understand too. Like, what are we saying?
Yawe.
Ayihlupha lana kuba uJomoson. Yimu cameraman, yimu sound engineer. Hey, yimu mposti. Yimu Jomo, drive bus. But uJomo kitman, drive bus. Coach, manage, he direct. Damn, dog. Yonke position, dog. Yonke position. Othi ngicheck mfethu. Ngaze ngibhayiziseke la. Okay. Sound great. Camera is rolling. Okay, just making sure everything is going. Izolo, yes, bro. Izolo, I just stopped. I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not taping shit. I was just silly mistakes, stupid things. I'm about to tape. Oh shit. Ilights angikhanyisanga ngiyasukuma ngikhanyisa ilight ngiyabuya ngiyahlala ngiyarecorda, check camera everything is rolling, camera is rolling, ngiyarecorda. 5 minutes in, oh wait, usound ngeke ngawuvula, check it out, sound is not recording. Busy khuluma ku mic, the sound is not recording at all. Like the fuck, bro? Like after so long, like qala phansi futhi, this means I have to go back. Qala phansi futhi again, I have to check now. Sound recording, puts on the sound. I record a 15 minutes deep, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not feeling this. Like, just bro. Like, you know those things about creativity where things are just not linking up. Yeah, just one of those, dog. Yeah, man. Hamba kanjani mfethu Mzansi, dog? What's up?
No, man, everything is good. I was just coming from your register for my drivers.
Your driver's license?
The school.
Oh, driving school?
Yeah, the school.
Long overdue.
Yeah, driving school.
Long overdue. To drive on my bike kanje? No ways, dog. No ways. It's time, dog, but as long as you are doing it. Yeah, man, before we get to the segment there, I want to talk to actually, as much as I said this, I already spoke about this on the Q&A episode, actually. So in case someone sees the Q&A episode. What do you think of the thing that I sent you? The Chris Brown letter?
Obviously, for me, as much as obviously, of course, because I was among the people who were waiting for to buy the tickets today.
Yeah, I saw. I saw the line. Andis was like number 20,000 something.
Yeah, I was lucky because I was like number 3,000 or some shit like that. So
Oh.
I was just there waiting.
Yeah.
To get the tickets. And obviously I got the tickets. And even the flexibility, I don't even want to give the other people publicity for the things that they're saying. Because what exactly do they want? So what should happen? Should we now, those 20,000 people, should we not go watch because we want to watch because of something that was resolved many years ago? Chris Brown angahlala ngaculi ahlale endlini abe broke ney'ngane zakhe. Like, I don't understand what exactly is supposed to happen.
Okay, their argument is that having Chris Brown to come to perform in South Africa is sending the wrong message. Like, so in other words, Chris Brown now somehow, according to this What's What for Change, represents basically GPV. It's like a symbol of GPV. Like, that's what they do. They gave him the president's seat of gender-based violence. That's what they're doing. How can you say Chris Brown shouldn't perform because of the Rihanna incident in 2009? Are you fucking serious? But my other issue, buddy, is, okay, as you said, the issue was resolved. Isn't it that now we also know what actually happened? Like, isn't it? Because now the truth is that we also know the truth. That's actually Rihanna started the hitting him and what's not. Isn't that we know that now? Isn't that thing should not be like that? Because now we know this. Because let's not behave like, I told you this before, the same thing I said on the Q&A episode. Let's not behave like when a woman is suspecting you of cheating, like they do not like fight or hit you, something like that. Like, women are like that. They do this and they get away with it because it's never characterized as abuse when they do it, you know? Not to defend Chris Brown, by the way, not to even defend that fact. It's just that we all know the truth now. Like, regardless that it's Chris Brown, like, I mean, he deserves to go to jail because even if Rihanna did beat him or hit him, I don't think that that was the way to resolve from him. I don't think he should have hit her back. Actually, we all know. I said this to you before. I've gotten my slap from a woman, and I didn't hit her back. I mean, this is how it is, dog. You never had me posting, oh, she abused me, she slapped me. It is what it is, bro. Like, we all know those things that women do that. And now in this case, we know that happened, and Rihanna started it, right? Fine. Chris Brown took the blame, accepted it, and went to jail. Came out, said did a community service. That was the thing. He did that, so he paid. So I don't understand too. Like, what are we saying? You know? Because now when we go back to the actual issue, we know that Rihanna started the thing. So now what? And that was not even the point to begin with, because nobody wanted to go back and say, hey, let's blame Rihanna. No one said that. But the fact that now you are bringing this up, you are blocking a man's life, saying he can't perform in South Africa because of something that happened in 2009? Are you fucking kidding me? Nigga, I was in grade 9, bro. What are you talking about, bro? I was in grade 9. I was 15 years old, dog. I'm 30 now. That's like a decade and a half ago. Are you fucking kidding me? Bro.
No, man, what do they do? What they are doing is, I don't know, man. It's you can almost say it's uncalled for. It really is. It's one of those. I think, man, I looked at it as one of those situations where someone is trying to get attention, or because something big is happening, or something, you know, like someone like Chris Brown is coming to perform. So now you wanna, because it's impossible for you to bring something that happened so many years ago, and obviously, as we are saying, there's something that
has
been resolved for all these years, and then you want to just try and make it that to be the thing that stops him from coming to perform.
Yeah, relevancy, man. Relevancy. I think they're just looking for relevance. That's what I will say. I feel like they want the name for their organization, and they're pushing their organization for relevancy. It doesn't make sense, bro. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't at all. And another thing, Chris Brown has been in South Africa after the incident, isn't it? Chris Brown came to South Africa after the incident. He did, to perform too.
I'm not sure, because I remember saying he hasn't performed for like 10 years. Well, in 2014, when did he come?
Yeah.
I think it was 2014. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but he did come to South Africa.
But he hasn't performed since that years ago.
Yeah, but still, buddy, he came. The point is, he did come after the incident in SA. He did.
Yeah.
So
I guess maybe.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, man, let's get to it, bro. Let's get to the politics. You know, this segment literally is just about things that are going on and things that are happening. Of course, there's too much, but I will try to focus this segment particularly to two things: the Bela bill and the NHI bill that was signed by Ramaphosa. So this segment is just focused on that. That's what we're going to talk about. I have some information to put you on as to what is going on, you know, in terms of those two things, okay? Both of the bills were signed by Ramaphosa. That's what we're going to talk about. And then maybe on another segment, I don't know when we can shoot another segment actually this time, buddy. I'm shooting, bro. I'm pushing content. We need to talk about what's going on right now in Iran, dog. We need to address that, like between Iran and Israel. We need to address that. I already have a segment for it planned. Actually, maybe we can talk when we can shoot that. I have the whole segment planned, and I've checked all the things that are going on. Like I try to organize things chronologically. Yeah, man.
No, I was speaking of that because I see someone who's constantly talking about it is Zupeg. I wish probably you could have a conversation with him because he's in one of those political things where, you know, he's having conversations, workshops and stuff. Maybe you can also try and contact him as well.
Yeah,
I will. I can reach out to him and then he can talk to you.
I will. Actually, I feel like I have his number too on my WhatsApp. I think I will text him. Maybe I will have a conversation with him. Cool. Okay, but my man, buddy, you know me, right? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try to hide. Buddy, let's be honest. I am an EFF guy. You agree with me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. I'm an EFF guy, right? Yeah, always been that, right? True, you know that, right? That's if I had to choose, I'm an EFF guy. We know, like ideologically, I am an EFF guy. We know that, but and that's another thing. I like to think of myself as someone who is open-minded and who is kind of fair. I like to see myself as someone who's able to see things from different directions. I'm not like one-minded type of person. I like to think of myself like that. So hence I'm gonna say this. I'm going to be honest. Ramaphosa right now is doing Ramaphosa and the GNU government is doing better than what I expected. Right? I need to give props to that. It's doing better than what I expected. And they're resolving some issues and taking some decisions, right, that I would have expected from an EFF government, for an example. I'm going to get to why I say that. But beginning, just talking about Ramaphosa, ever since he took over, the rand has been stronger. I mean, me and you, you've worked overseas too. I'm still here working overseas. But both the similar thing between both of us, we change money from, you know, foreign currencies to South African currency. And we know how that has been after the GNU, right? The rand has been stronger. When we are changing money to South Africa after the GNU, we don't get the same amount that we used to get. I was calculating the difference actually. The difference is 5,000 rands between the 2.60 that we usually had to that the 2.4 something that we get now. The difference has been 5,000 rands in terms of consistency. Can you, on average, the difference? Yeah. So that has worked out. I need to give props. But again, it is expected that this will work out. The reason I say this is expected is because we must remember that Ramaphosa is a president who is in line with business. He's a businessman and he's a president for business in a sense, right? So because business have so much power and they can manipulate rand and stuff like that, as how the Ruperts were saying to Jacob Zuma that they can drop the rand down if he doesn't step down and what's not when they were threatening him, we would expect that this was coming, right? But still, it's a fact, buddy, that this worked out in that sense. So the rand is good. Eskom was terrible in terms of load shedding, right? And they said they were working on it. And again, let's be fair. it's not the same anymore. It's better. So we have to admit when things are better. We have to admit. I cannot sit here and trash. Nah, we have to tell the truth. I'm from the truth from my own mind and perspective. I will never lie purposefully and fight for something and argue something that I do not believe. I would never, bruh. I'm not for the Ramaphosa presidency. I am an FF guy, as I would say, but I have to admit when I see things, there's progress in that sense. Another thing, his statements against in the United Nations. Maybe this is something I should discuss when we talk about Iran right now hitting back Israel, right? But his statement, like last week in United Nations, bruh, nigga, that's some Mandela type of shit, bruh. Like, this guy says shit that was like, nigga, Ramaphosa has balls like that. Like, that's how I felt. Also, so for me, it's almost contradictory in a way. I'm gonna get to it later as to why too I say it's contradictory. Because for the most part though, it's almost like he's one thing and then acting another thing in another way. Right? It's very hard to keep up as to where does he really stand. So Ramaphosa to me is striking me as someone who's in the middle, right? He's not necessarily fully on the capitalist and standing with business side, but he's not also fully on the socialist and just standing with socialist ideals, you know? So he's almost like in the middle, right? That's how I feel about him, especially with the United Nations statement that he made and the NHI bill. Right? Those things for me make him to be like that, right? On the United Nations, one of the major things that he said, like the major statement, which was like, obviously, you know how news anchors and like news outlets, rather, they will have a storyline was, we South Africans know apartheid and we have suffered and died under apartheid, and we will not stand and watch when others basically are suffering from the same condition, right? Literally, that's how he phrased it, you know. And the things that he was saying about Israel is something that I wouldn't expect from the presidents of the so-called national units, you know, because the national unit to me, the GNU, the GNU to me was much more. Maybe on the bigger lights, it seemed to cater to what like DA's ideals, like economy, business, capitalistic ideals. And capitalistic ideas are people who are in line with America, you know, the what you call NATO, basically. They're in line with NATO, you know. So this type of statement doesn't sound like someone who is in line with that, right? So it's interesting to me. Yeah, because, I mean, fundamentally, DA is for Israel. Doesn't matter what Israel does. DA just wants Israel, whatever, whether they're wrong or what, they just want Israel. So, to have a president, on the other hand... Yeah, buddy.
No, I'm saying it's sad because, I mean, before this whole thing happened, you were saying that you were worried how much of a drastic change is going to have or the impact it's going to have when the GNU was happening with the Israel situation.
Yeah.
I remember you were worried about that, like how much they're going to probably pull back and no longer do the supporting.
Exactly. That's what I thought. So I found it very interesting that this happened. But anyway, now, with that being said, let's move to the two bills that I want to address. Let's start with the Bela bill, right? Now, Ramaphosa signed the Bela bill into law, right? By the way, many people, like, we're talking, this is another thing, in Africa, we like having these things, like, the Bela bill was proposed in 2017, but the way it's like, it's almost like it's a new thing. It's like it's been there since 2017, you know? And it's only being passed into law now, actually, by the way, but the way it's made to seem, it's almost like it's a new thing. Anyway, now, Bela bill basically means, Bela means Basic Education Laws Amendments, right? Bela, right? So the bill is dealing with that. Significant thing that happened when he was signing is that Siviwe Gwarube didn't come to, who is Siviwe Gwarube? Siviwe is the Minister of Education, Basic Education. And she didn't come when the bill was being passed. She was not there. The reason she wasn't there is because she disagrees with the bill. Well, she is a minister of the DA, and she disagrees with the bill. You see? The thing that I was talking about, you know, like those type of things that I had expected that will happen with this GNU. Because you have parties that are not aligned ideologically, but they are trying to work together, you know, which I found interesting how the ANC will leave out EFF and MK and side with DA side, right? But they ideologically more aligned towards socialistic ideals such as the EFF and MK, you know. And this is an example. Now the president is passing a bill in disagreement with the party that he's on government with. You see exactly those issues. But let's talk about the bill. What does the bill entail? Okay, first thing, the Bela bill aimed to revive the admission and language policies of schools, transferring decision-making authorities from school governing bodies, which is the SGPs, we know them, to the head of departments, right? This change was prompted by instances of discriminatory admission practices observed in some schools. What do you think of that?
Wait, can you repeat that, buddy?
Basically, they are saying the bill is aimed to revise the admission and language policies of schools, obviously transferring also the decision making from SGP, the governing bodies, you know, right, to HODs, right? And also this change apparently is prompted by the instances of discriminatory admission practices observed in some schools. I'm assuming again, that maybe some schools would admit people on the basis of maybe they can speak Afrikaans or their English proficiency. I am assuming that's what he's targeting within this instance. Yeah, right? Anyone
you can contribute.
Yeah. What do you think of this or this part of the bill that is aiming to do?
I mean, it sounds fair in terms of the changes it's trying to implement. Especially, I mean, if the changes can be good enough that, you know, it's being fair across the board, it seems like it's something that, you know, that's good for the whole country itself.
Yeah.
This is for school. I mean, this is for government schools, right?
No. The Bela bill is for all across, Baba. Bela bill is for private school, everything.
Oh,
yeah.
Including.
Yeah. I'm still gonna get to the Bela bill is for everyone, including private school. We're still gonna get to private schools and stuff. Yeah, it's for everyone. Okay. I'm not sure
What does it impose? What does it impose? Like in terms of, you are saying language, in terms of changing. So what are they saying? There are things that are gonna be basically forced upon schools, or is it
it's I think, you know, okay, look at this. They are saying they're moving the authority from the governing bodies to the head of departments. Do you see, once you do that, you are excluding external factors influencing the school, and you are having control over, because the government can control what policies schools should apply, but they cannot control what parents from the governing body say. Do you see? So when they say they are moving powers from the SGPs into the head teachers, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, because they can control schools, but they cannot control people who come in the governing body. And this is one of the issues people are fighting for, because some people are not happy with that part, that the schools now are going to have so much power, and governing bodies are basically scrapped out in terms of what they can be able to influence regarding admission to the school. So so we can argue that. We can argue that. Second point.
Governing bodies include parents as well, right?
Yeah, governing body.
What happens?
Yeah, literally, our governing body is actually more about parents actually having influence in the school. Actually, as much as it still will have like a deputy principal maybe and some head teacher or something like that, but it's usually like just parents for the most part having influence to the school in terms of governing bodies. Anyway, second point, grade R education will be made compulsory. Early childhood development, ECD, compulsory. I didn't even go to grade R, right? So I'm one of those people, I guess, that would have had.
Didn't grade R come after us? I feel like it came after. I'm not sure. I feel like I can't remember it in my childhood.
Now in my childhood,
it being existing.
Nah, there was grade R in my childhood. There was actually, because I started school in 2001. There was grade R, but I didn't go to grade R though. I remember because I started in grade 1. I was staying at home with Granny dog. I still remember those days. So now, what do you think about? Actually, I was surprised by it that grade R is not compulsory. I was surprised by that. I was like, huh? So grade R education will be made compulsory. I was like, I thought that's already something that is there.
In grade R, what does it entail? It's not preschool. Is it preschool? Preschool is creche.
Yeah.
It's grade R.
Grade R basically is almost like the grade before grade 1. I feel like it will be like actually between, because preschool will have grade R, I would assume. Yeah, preschool should have grade R, because that used to be the deal. Your crash would have grade R, you know, and then after they finish grade R, like you graduate the crash to go to grade 1 in a school. That's at least that's how it was like. So you graduate a crash in your grade 1 and then you go to school.
So if they say it's compulsory, what are they saying to Mama Crash? Mama Crash will have to remove grade R and then it's going to be implemented in schools, or they can still count?
No, remember, buddy, remember some people don't go to grade R. They go to school directly, like me, right? We just started in grade 1. Like you too. So now it's going to be compulsory that before you go to grade 1, you would have a grade R that you went to for grade R. Yeah, I think that's what it entails. I don't know. What do you think about that? Actually, I don't think much about that. I mean, I was surprised that a grade R was not even compulsory before.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on what research they did where they need it to be compulsory. So I'm sure there's a supporting reason for that.
Okay, here comes the deep water. Criminalizing parental negligence in school attendance. Failing to make sure that your kids attend school as a parent will carry a potential for jail time for the parent. Anyone disrupting school activities is liable to spend 12 months in prison. This basically is including maybe in a sense that parents who would be are not taking care of their kids, that ensuring that kids attend school as disrupting a child's schooling progress. Tricky, man. It's tricky, man. Okay, now there's good and bad for this. Okay, I'm gonna start with the because I was thinking about it, and yesterday before I decided, the things that I was telling you about. One, I feel like it's good in a sense that parents are given responsibilities, basically not to leave everything to teachers to solve. Because parents have this mentality that educating their kids is teachers' jobs, right? Parents are given a responsibility to care about their kids actually attending school. To think that we even have to have that law, it tells you a lot. To have that in a bill, it tells you a lot that some parents are so absent, they don't even care if their kids made it to school or not, right? So indirectly, in senses such as in my community, it can also help with crime, right? Because in my community, I told you, the most crime is committed by kids who are supposed to be in high school. Bruh, niggas my age are scared of 17-year-olds. Kids carry knives and shit. Teacher assistants, amajita, are scared of the kids, right? Can you imagine that, having to go to school and your kid is carrying an OCAP and you are a teacher? Can you imagine that? You are a teacher, your kid is carrying an OCAP, but that's the culture. And somewhere this is lost in parenting, because parents are absent when it comes to those things. So in that sense, it is good for that, right? Because we know these parents, they only care when their kids died. Oh, he was a good boy, and not like understand what their kids was like to communities. So good in that sense, right? Also, it just sends obviously a strong message about the importance of parenting responsibility, right, in the child's schooling, right? So same thing. So in that sense, I agree. Now, for me, what I find to be bad about this, one, maybe, obviously, we might be punishing parents unfairly. I mean, cause let's be honest, bruh. That we have socio-economic issues, challenges that contribute to attendance, right? A parent who's supposed to be going to a rank to sell some fruits, provide for the family, cannot also be at home and follow up into what the kid is doing. Some parents can't even come back at home because they have so much to do. They're sleeping at rank and stuff like that. Some parents won't be able to keep up with that, right? Excuse me. So that's one bad thing about it, right? Also, I would say, I mean, if you have to go that far to people's lives, I feel like it's a government overreach, man. It's like, I'm sorry, bro, there's some China shit, dog. There's like a government overreach.
What?
It's a government overreach. It's a government overreach, man. You know? It's like a government overreaching now into family matters and stuff like that. This is some China shit, man. That's what I said. This is like some China vibes.
But isn't it maybe it's the same reason they all complain, which is why they are seeing that there's a problem. There's a problem where kids are not going to school, where they're doing all these things that should be solved at home first before you go to school. And hence why maybe that it was passed down, because they're seeing there's a situation. I mean, sometimes for you to actually solve a situation, you have to create something that's extreme, like forcing both parents and children to be responsible for their own education.
Yeah, that's true. I admit that's true. But at the same time, I mean, you can still see it as an overreach, because into private matters and family matters, you know, that's how I also see it. Also, implementing and enforcing such law could be very challenging, man, and costly for the education system. How could you enforce that law? Like, because you have to have standards. Also, after how many days should we be concerned about just kids not coming to school? Right. Man, so like it will be expensive, and also what do we do, right? It will be expensive, and what do we do? How do we keep up with that? You know, it's a for me it's a reach to a certain extent too.
Change doesn't come easy.
What?
It doesn't. No. Something like what you said earlier. I mean, when was there a transition where like this in school? I mean, I remember, we used to be scared of our teacher. We used to be scared of our principal. That man could do anytime.
The principal didn't have to do anything. The principal just came out to the office to stretch and be like, yo! People finally...
Everybody would be running like...
Yeah, but man. Yo, so, the principal would just walk out of the office.
The time when such things were removed, where that type of fear was removed, I don't know. I'm asking myself, when was there a transition where people stopped being scared like that? Obviously, I know it's the removal of corporal punishment.
Yeah, over time.
There was a reason. There was those things of people are feeling like they're being abused. But on its own, it seemed like it was fair. But at the same time, obviously, we know it's wrong. So then, what changes can be done? It's
very tough. It's very tough, to be honest with you, man.
It is, man.
It's very tough. We like to have the correct answer for this. It's very tough. Okay. Anyway, so that's it in terms of that part. Next part is the Bela bill considers homeschooling as a legal alternative to attending a public school or private school in South Africa. Homeschooling parents will thus not need to worry about the possibility of imprisonment as long as they comply with the provisions set out by the bill, right? They must expect site visits from the Department of Education before registering home education. Damn! Oh, by the way, some parents obviously are complaining about that, because like now you're gonna have government people coming to my home to check out my home and what I'm doing in my home, you know? Hey man, yeah, but anyway, I guess if you're gonna choose, because this
but I also see the positive.
Yeah, I see both sides too, but at the same time, I'm thinking about that. Like, if you're gonna homeschool your kid, nigga, we have to check out what's going on with that kid, because we don't know what you'll be doing with the kid.
We have to know.
Yeah, we have to know. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
also,
I mean,
yeah.
Are you teaching the child, like, bro? Like, it seems there's fairness in that.
Yeah, true. Also, let's say, but even if you are teaching correctly, nigga, we need to know you're not abusing the kid. Because we know kids, because they come to school, we see them. They get out. Now when are you gonna be keeping the kid at home now? Your kid doesn't even have friends because their school is at home. So now we need to know what's going on. Like, the fuck, you wanna keep your kid now? What the fuck? That kind of strange too to complain about. Yeah. Haibo. So school governing bodies must submit their language policies for approval. The policies must consider the linguistic needs in society. Okay, now this is strange. Why are they saying school governing bodies must submit their language policies for approval? Isn't it? They said they're gonna take out school governing bodies in the first time. That doesn't make sense. It's confusing. But anyway, I need to say this.
Maybe in this point, it means the school governing body is the school itself, not necessarily the government body as in the people.
Maybe they're gonna. I feel like I don't think they're gonna dismantle governing bodies, buddy. I think they're gonna remove some responsibilities from them and give those responsibilities to head teachers. I think that's what they're gonna do, to give more powers to head teachers and not governing bodies. I think that's what they're trying to do. But I need to address something, guys. I know we are all Africans, right? I understand this. Guys, I am a Zulu man and I'm proud Zulu, and I advocate that our kids learn Zulu. I want to say this. I don't find it cool that our kid can speak English, especially now you have kids that I'm no tobacco and I am Zulu. Like, I don't approve of that. Our kids should learn to speak our languages, right? They should be good in our languages before any other language. But I need to tell you facts though. English pays, bro. It's a language of communication outside of in the world, internationally, outside of South Africa. So we must be careful around that. I understand the notion of actually wanting our kids obviously to learn their home languages, but don't be fooled and think then, schools must be taught, classes must be in our indigenous language. Why should they use English in our thingy? My man, trust me, we are in China solving that problem right now. Don't get it twisted about that shit. I don't want to get people fooled about that. You're gonna mess up your kid, bro. English is a language of money and business, bro. Internationally, right? People, English is the most spoken language as like a second language for people, right? Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world, but English, many people speak English as their second language from their mother tongue. English is that language. Trust me, my man. Trust me, on that point, I wanted to address that. Let's not get fooled around. But I don't know what you think or where you stand with what I'm saying.
No, man, I'm agreeing with that, especially because you have these situations where SA is likely to still be included in many other countries.
Exactly.
Where language, our English language is one of the
it's proficient.
Ones.
Yes.
And if we get into a situation where it gets removed, because I see some places where they're not wanting to count it in there, then we're going to have a problem later on. Because I know there are many African countries where the English language is not included in many of those lists.
Yeah.
So it just definitely needs to be.
Yeah, don't fool yourself around that one. Trust me, it's a language of business, bro. That's how you communicate internationally. Now, school codes of conduct must accommodate cultural and religious beliefs, such as having provisions for students to seek exemptions for certain code requirements. Now, I had questions about this. These are the questions that I had, buddy. What does this mean, right? 1, someone needs to go pray during your class. Do you allow them to go outside and pray because it's 1? Hey, man, sometimes, you can call your own problems. I don't know, right? I understand it in a sense, but at the same time, you must ask yourself those type of questions, right? What if kuyagundwa esikoleni and mina ngiyathwasa ngifuna ukufaka ubuhlalo ekhanda sengizofaka ubuhlalo ekhanda esikoleni? Is that where we're going? How far are we taking this shit? Like, we must be careful. How far are you willing to go with these routes? The reason I'm saying this, again, being in an international school, I should know better. These kids have these provisions here, and the kids abuse the hell out of this shit. These type of provisions, they abuse the shit out of these provisions. They get away without submissions. They are giving leeway to pass. They go around the system. So in other words, if you're saying exemption from certain codes requirements, right, you might include assessments, I guess. I don't know, right? We might have a problem whereby someone is unable to do something. Then what? But man, like I'm telling you, bro, I am telling you, here you can run into a trap and you are trapping yourself here. Yes, buddy. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, because these kids, they will learn these laws.
Yeah,
Rules that you are creating.
Yeah.
And they will use it as Nhi Bela, like in that school, in the school. Kids found out what the laws mean, and then they were actually finding ways around it.
Yeah. And for the most part, sorry, Paddy, as you are cutting, for the most part, you're back. For the most part, too, this usually works for Model C schools, private schools. Those are the kids who know what's up, what's what. Public schools are baguettes. They don't complain. They do what is asked. But private school kids, my man, yo, I'm telling you, bro. They know, because I know this from our kids, the ones that we are teaching here overseas. Also, I know it from home. Because there's so many things that were different at home between when I went to public schools and when I went to private schools. In private schools, kids knew their rights, dog. Like what the teacher said, right? Like the teacher can't say that to us. Let's write to the principal, bro. I've never been like that. I've never been exposed to such things until I went to private school. Private school kids don't fuck around, dog. You know, a kid. What did the principal say? Okay, shit. Let's write a petition. This teacher said this, and we're gonna give this letter to the principal. All of a sudden, the teacher is apologizing. I'm gonna lose my job. You have to forgive me. Hey, private school kids. Exactly, though. Yeah, man. Anyway, is there anything you want to add on that?
So, oh my gosh. So are we saying we can't give those privileges to public school kids? So they can complain.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying public schools, these policies will be applied mostly by private school kids, because public school kids usually don't know those things about their rights and stuff like that. That's why they accept things like corporal punishments. Whereas private school kids are much more likely to be the ones who are benefiting from these things that are meant in these bills. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying who must get one and not. I know corporal punishment has been was ended long time ago, but public school kids still take corporal punishment. In private school, never. That shit was never gonna fly in my school. That's for sure. Not with the kids who get angry for a teacher saying "futsek" to them or saying they are monkeys. Not to them, dog. Forget about it. Not those kids, man. Not those kids. Never, dog. Never. Meanwhile, in public school, our kids will accept anything. Anyway, the last part of this bill is corporal punishments. The bill emphasized the ban of corporal punishments in school, and then also people basically who obviously commits corporal punishment might get fines and possible jail time and what's not, right? Me as a teacher, buddy, actually I don't believe in corporal punishment anyway. I feel like once you have to resort to corporal punishment, you've lost the fight a long time ago. Might as well go home.
Lost.
Yeah, you've lost.
Yeah, you've lost the kid.
Might as well go home. Yeah, I've never had to hit any kid. I'm glad also, right? I mean, and our kids, to be fair, are respectful to a certain extent.
It worked during its time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's no longer time for that. It's not like it's time for different type of communication.
Yeah, because also we have
read
generation to generation. People are different, man. People are different from one generation to. Because if you think about our generation was the generation to fight against corporal punishment and start ending it to a certain extent, right? Because as time went by, corporal punishment was ending, and then once you get to 2000, then they don't have corporal punishment as much like at that time. So also, as you're saying, communication wise, it's different now. Kids are not the same, right? So yeah. So in that sense, I mean, I'm surprised that we're even having this actually corporal punishment. But those are the things that stood out for me.
I think it's because I'm sure, I'm probably positively sure there are still schools that are still applying corporal punishment. Like, you are late, 18, around the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still do those things.
They still do those things. That's true. Actually, in Asekaya, some schools are still doing those things. Actually, even to the school where my dad used to go to, they still do those things. So, yeah, for sure. Okay. Just in conclusion, in terms of this bill, my thoughts. Okay, I feel like, for the most part, for me, it's unnecessary, the bill. That's how I feel. Because the reason I say this, I just feel like we are solving third world problems, first world problems, and we are a third world country. That's how I feel. Like, it will be having bills about bunch of nothings, really. Like, I don't get it, you know? What about Wi-Fi? All the schools have Wi-Fi. Like, bruh, dog. Yeah, for me, that's how I feel. Like, what about that? What about having Wi-Fi's and laptops? Oh, the kids that we have here, all of them have laptops and shit. What about shit like that? Like, what about just, even if you don't have Wi-Fi's, like, even if you don't have laptops for all the kids, but you have, like, laptop labs that kids can use openly, and they have free Wi-Fi. Kids have cell phones too. Actually, even kids in rural areas or kids in the hood, they have their own cell phones, actually. You know, forget even not buying them laptops. But what about them having a Wi-Fi? What if we create a culture, like a university culture, where kids can go home, change, eat, and go back to school? You know? Like, what if we have a culture like that? In university, you can go home at your place, sleep in your place, and then go back to school if you want to. Go to lane, open your computer, whatever you want to do. What if we have something like that? What if we create a culture like that, that kids can do that? What about those things? Those are the things that I would say from a third world country we need to develop. All these things that are said here, it's a bunch of nothings for a third world country, man. Sorry. That's how I feel, man. What do you feel?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking about the thing. In your mind, I mean, obviously, you're just making a dumb point or a point in a sense, but I'm trying to imagine the risk of having to do that where kids can go home, because I think at some point, I think it's a nice structure, because I think it's a world structure where you can, a school environment is technically a force upon time, but then the more you progress in education, the more type of freedom you have in terms of what you can do. Because that's what the difference between university and high school is. It's like university, you get the sense of freedom. Like you are, if aufuni, that's your choice. You are given a point of view, the choice. But high school, according to even the bill itself, it's not a choice. You have to be educated. So when you actually have a choice when you are older, it's you who made a choice. So now you are suffering because you made the decision. But in terms of high school, you were forced. So now we're leaving it up to your hands later on.
Yeah, but I think obviously kids can have to go to school. Like the structure of their school is cool. I'm talking about a culture of that after school kids can come back to school because there's Wi-Fi at school and they can use computers at school. Yeah, I'm talking not to make a school a high school a varsity. No, what the fuck? No, kids should go to school, go 8. Let's cut on getting us, they pumu 2:15, no more 3. Let's cut so pum. But I'm saying after that they can go home, change, they want to go back to school, go back to school. That's what I'm saying. You know, a culture like that, whereby school is the place to be. There is Wi-Fi, there is development in terms of playing fields, kube nama ground right, kube khona ama facilities whereby kids can have a life at school, like a campus. University fethi campus fethi uyazi kanjani ama campuses university mase kuphumile isigele sekuyajinywa ebholweni badlala ibhola naba abantu sebegqoka izinto abantu bayo rehearse hacks there's theater things abay rehearsal for their shows abanye bayojima le groundini naba be basketball sebale abathanda isonto naba sebale bafuna ukuya esontweni. Yeah, understand that life, that's what I mean. You know, whereby there's just everything at school. We have that surrounding a school whereby kids can have a life actually outside of them being in class when they finish with their classes. Because I feel like those type of things, those are the things that can change these issues that we have of crime and stuff like that. That's what I mean. You know, not to change the school structure. What the fuck? No, everything is fine. But I'm saying this bill is just addressing first world problems, like. Not even, because it doesn't even help. It's just saying these things. Like, the fuck?
That's funny. This is weird. This is on the side note. Yeah. Because it's what you were saying that it made me curious about this. I'm curious about the because I'm actually googling it right now. The first, second, and third world. Because I've never heard people talking about second world countries. It's always either first or
third. Yeah, true.
Now I'm researching. Now I'm researching who is in the second world country. My man, this list I'm not sure. Maybe it needs to be changed or whatever. But I'm a second world country because they have China here, and they also have Russia. And they have obviously other countries, or Georgia, Ukraine, North Korea, Vietnam, Mongolia, Cuba. Those are regarded, and Poland. Those are regarded as second world countries.
Nah,
so
China is not.
Who is the first?
Nah, China can't be a second world country, man. Even US is not touching China now. It's impossible. China, it's impossible. China, I get it, bro. These guys are gone, dog. You know, when it comes to that, it's one thing you have to give it up to the Chinese, dog. They got the game down. Anyway, that's my conclusion, though, buddy. Any remarks as we close this part?
No, man. I think I was just everything was said that was needed to be said.
Okay. The NHI, the National Health Insurance, bill in South Africa aims to provide universal access to quality health care for all residents. The National Health Insurance, which is the NHI Act, was signed into law in South Africa on May 15th, 2024, and is expected to be implemented in phases over the next several years. So phase 1, for an example, 2023 to 2026, this phase will establish the NHI fund and other group work. Phase 2, 2026 to 2028, this phase will include mobilizing resources and establishing the NHI fund as a purchaser of health services okay. On this part, are you there with me, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
The second phase, which is 2026 to 2028, this phase will include mobilizing resources and establishing the NHI fund as a purchaser of health services. So basically, this is what they mean on this phase. The NHI basically is going to buy wonke ama health services in South Africa. So every health service will be under NHI, right? And so if someone is sick, for an example, and they qualify with their NHI card, for an example, whatever, they should be able to get help in any place they go to. Okay? Now, how it works, the NHI is a state-funded fund that will cover the medical cost of all eligible South Africans. The government will buy health services from public and private providers, and eligible residents can visit these providers without payments. Now, in terms of the fund, or the NHI will be funded by 1, general taxes, 2, special contributions from people earning above a set amount, 3, monthly contributions from employees. Now, why you laugh, man?
No, it's the second part.
Well, we know who they're talking about. Fuck that. I ain't paying that shit. Now, buddy, it's so weird. Everything, because taxpayers, people who are paid certain level of amounts, they will talk about those things. Where is business? Huh? Where are they? Where is big business? Why don't I hear big corporation here in these bills? When do they pay? We have targeted taxes for general taxes, bro. You know, a general tax talks to someone who goes to a factory to work. They talk to a teacher. Where is the fucking business? Where are the mines? Where are they? There are mine companies in South Africa. Where are these big businesses? Where the fuck are they? When it's time to pay general taxes, people who earn above set amount, monthly contributions from employees, where the fuck are the big businesses? Like, I don't get it, bro. Every time, these are the people who are always paying. Yeah, they should be on top of the list, bro. Abo Sasol, Abo Banban, all these mine companies, Abo Total, whoever. KFC, all these big businesses, where are they here? Where are they? Enterprises, where are they here? I want McDonald's here. I want to see and all the big enterprises here in this bill. Where are they? Fuck this, bro. General taxes. What the fuck? Hey, bro. Where are they?
That's I didn't even notice that technically that it doesn't necessarily include them.
All the time, it's always like this. It doesn't include them. It doesn't. All the time, it's always like this. Big businesses nowhere to be found when it's time to pay. Nowhere to be found. Unabo Vodacom, Unabo MT, wherever they are, where are they here? They're not here. Then you're talking about general taxes and general workers, employees. What the fuck? Where is business? Ah, boy. There's one thing that I hate about these type of things. Business is nowhere to be found. Okay. I'm just going to try to go through the whole thing, buddy. So just because of time. So that we're going to talk about it once we're done. Okay. Now, benefits. The NHR will provide a common set of funded benefits for all eligible residents in the country. Role of private insurance. The NHR will limit the role of private insurance, and once the NHI fund covers a benefits, medical schemes will not cover the same benefits. The NHI Act states that medical schemes cannot cover services that are covered by the NHI. However, patients can still claim from private health insurance if they choose their own providers. Transparency. Actually, now it's clear. As Ramaphosa said, some of the things he said, he was in China and they started seeing how China is operating and they're trying to apply that. This sounds like it, actually, to be honest. Okay, transparency.
The one that we have.
Yeah, the ones that we have. It's exactly the one that we have, actually. Yeah, it's exactly that. Actually, I know it's that because I went through some countries that have the same thing. This is like your Obamacare in United States. It's something like that. It's like in Canada, I forgot the name, but Canada has the exact one, the one that we have, the national health insurance. And Singapore has it too. Remember, I was telling you about that. Singapore has it too, the one that we have. And I mean, we live in China. We know that the what you call the social insurance is this actually here.
Correct,
Yeah. So the NHR will be fully transparent with all contracts with providers. Really, we know, and suppliers, and the common sets of funded benefits being fully disclosed. Okay. Some of the things that I said, okay, disadvantages of this. Maybe let me start positive. Yo, how's about you? Do you hate advantages? One of the primary benefits of NHI bill, obviously, is that it aims to provide equal care, healthcare services to all South Africans, reducing the gap between people with money and people that don't have money. But let's be honest. The reason that you would have such a thing is because you are failing in your public hospitals. Now, because you are failing, you are trying to drag private entities with you. And you're trying to share, because if you say you're going to put all this money on the taxpayers and what's not, why don't you do it in your public hospital and clinics? Why don't you apply your NHI in your public hospitals and clinics? You are trying to drag private hospitals. That's what you're doing. You see that the game is hard. You can, because basically, buddy, this will drop healthcare in South Africa significantly. I need to say this. It will drop healthcare in South Africa significantly. You know it. We can fool around and say what. It will drop it, right? That's just facts. Again, this is back to the point that I was saying in the beginning. This is interesting to me. I think at the same time, as much as I'm saying what I'm saying, I actually think it's a good initiative. It's actually, at least it shows that actually Ramaphosa cares, man, to a certain extent. I give him that. Because this is the type of bill I would expect from an EFF government, as I was saying to you. because this is
To make everybody equal.
to make everybody equal, because this is much more often socialistic ideal, right? But it's not necessarily like a private capitalist ideal, like how I assumed Ramaphosa to be. And I mean, most of his decisions seem to cater for business interest rather than socialistic interest and people's interest. So for me, I found it interesting that it is even fathomable that we can have such a bill under this GNU government. So for me, I find it interesting. But at the same time, I am saying this, as much as I approve at the same time, but I'm going to be honest at the same time with the other hand that, yeah, it's this, but the reason you would do that is because you are failing badly, right? In your public.
What's it? I'm finding that the gesture you are making very interesting. The approved gesture.
Yeah, at the same time.
You're making a fist.
Of course, I'm on this side, and at the same time, I need to raise this other point though. That you are failing. I mean, I would understand if another government like EFF or MK does this, because I mean, it's not their system that failed the people. It would be a measure to try and recover the damages done by the ANC in the public health care, right? I would see it as that. Yeah. But then this is the ANC that has been in charge for 30 years. They are doing this because they failed. They have failed their public health care. Now they are trying to drag private enterprises with them. That's how I see this. You make that an
interesting point in the beginning. Like, I'm wondering, as you are saying this, like, what's the dialogue between these parties in the GNU? Like, did they agree?
No.
The hell was it possible that an agreement was reached?
No, there's no agreement. No. Actually, there's a huge disagreement about this. There's no agreement. There's a huge disagreement about this. Obviously, DA doesn't stand for that. Obviously, we know what DA represents. So, hence, I'm saying to you, it is contradictory. I find like the ANC is so contradicting themselves. So, how did you choose taking the DA over EFF and MK, and then you go and take stance is the EFF on that DA government that you have? Your DA ANC government that you have, because it's DA ANC, to be honest. I'm not going to count the other parties. It's weird to me that they would do that. Obviously, the DA disagrees with them. I mean, the DA disagrees with them in everything, including this bill, right? But the bill has been signed now by Ramaphosa. You know? So, hence I'm saying I give him props in that sense. At the same time, there's this issue. Now, disadvantages, of course, of the system include South Africans would be forced to make use of NHI, right? Even if you don't want to, regardless of whether they want to or not, they have to use this NHI thing now. Remember, like here, hence I'm saying, yeah, sure, Ramaphosa said they took some structures or strategies from China. And this is, 101 China, man. Come on. If people are forced to use this, is the same thing that happens here. We are forced to have a social insurance, and then the other insurance is up to you if you want to have it or not. And this is the same thing. Yeah. So now we're going to be forced to have this insurance, right? And then it's up to you if you want to also have the private insurance on top of this one. So the health paying for the sick and increases the burdens on taxpayers too. Because hence I'm saying, where is big business in this bill? You know, where is big business? So big business is not included here. Do you see? They're talking about taxpayers. So this will increase burden, obviously, on taxpayers, I would assume, obviously. Also, if healthcare...
Would it not do what the social insurance does there, where Mabuti, you are paying for it, the company that you work for or wherever you work for pays the majority of the amount for the insurance?
Hopefully that's what they do, like it happens here, but it doesn't say anything regarding the big companies here. Do you see? It doesn't. Yeah. Again, possible lower quality of healthcare. I mean, it's the same thing I was saying, bro. It is expected. I'm certain about it. You should expect this. You'd be stupid not to expect this. Health care in South Africa will drop significantly with the NHI. I cannot, my man, by the way, I am for NHI and I am supporting NHI. I think we should have something like NHI, right? To try and support like the lower, like people who don't even get salaries or anything like that to have some sort of healthcare. I am for that. And I agree with the bill. But I also at the same time, I would have to be, I can't now close my eyes because I agree with it. It will significantly drop our healthcare system. Like, healthcare will drop. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because if Ramaphosa knew that he can push and support e-healthcare in South Africa, he could have supported the current public healthcare we have and put it in the level that it can compete, right, and be competent. But he is dragging private institutions and getting in their way, which means he knows that whatever he's going to be giving into the system is not going to be enough anyway, regardless. So hence he's involving the private enterprises. Right? We have to be honest here.
He's trying to stand on the leg of private sectors.
He's trying to stand on the leg of private healthcare. That just is what it is, man. He's trying to stand on that leg. There's just no way around it. It's obvious that's what he's trying to do. You know, he knows this. So saying they're gonna give money to this, my man, get the fuck out of here, bro. The fuck, get the fuck out of here. Gonna give money to to all healthcare providers so that anyone can. So the idea by the is almost like everyone is gonna be registered to be able to go to a hospital. Let's say you are registered in this hospital. This is next to you, right? Everyone in the area, hospitals that are next to them, they'll be able to access. So in the city, so you'll be registered under the city, for an example, right? But then, so then they can be able to, share. So I would assume if you get sick, you are kule, maybe that will be passed down to the hospital that you're supposed to be going to. I don't know. I'm assuming though, something like that. I don't know. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah. I'm trying to analyze all these things where are the private healthcare centers going to be forced to have this NHI bill under the institutes, basically?
Yeah.
They're supposed to accept anyone who's got yes, they are forced, all of them. Basically, all healthcare providers will have to take someone with it or who's using an NHI. So imagine it. So NHI basically is, I would assume, imagine a medical scheme, but a medical scheme for everyone. Just like here in China, we have the social insurance that everyone can have a social insurance card, and you can go to any hospital with your social insurance card, right? So the NHI will be something like that. So they will have, private institutions would have to take a patient who's sick, who has their social, their NHI card, right? Remember, and then that bill will be passed to government, and government is saying we're going to compensate you for that, whatever that you're gonna be struggling with. You're gonna pay compensation for that person. Now, but then the problem is that the government is not gonna be able to keep up with actual payments of what the people are supposed to get, and it's gonna overwhelm. Of course, and also it's going to overwhelm private institutions, because they're gonna. Now, someone who should be going to public hospitals or public clinics is going to go to a private one, right? So now it's going to, basically, what they're trying to do is to shed a load from a public institutions, healthcare to private. They're shedding the load so that the burden is not too much on the public infrastructure or institutions in terms of healthcare. It's worked in Korea, it's worked in Canada, it's worked in Singapore, it's working in China. It's just that we're talking about South Africa now. Maybe let's give it a chance.
Yeah, but the problem in South Africa, but it isn't my issue. My man, I don't think this is too far-fetched for us to afford it. Let's not fool around, bro. South Africa can do this. We can afford this. We can do this. The issue that I need to be straight with this The issue that I have the most is the amount of corruption that we have. You're gonna have a 5 billion that was supposed to go to a province that didn't get there. 5 billion that nobody knows. That's what you're gonna get. That's my issue. It's not that we know South Africa. We know we have money. We have this can be affordable. This can be done. We know our biggest issue, and it's what's going to drag this whole system down. It's gonna drag the private institutions with them. That's my conclusion around this. But at the same time, I am for it actually. I think because one of the reasons they're saying, but I must test this were being said, but I couldn't believe, dog. Yo, I was so shocked. Only 10% of black people use private institutions in terms of healthcare. 10%. 70% of white people 10% of black people use private institution for healthcare. Only 10% of the population. 70% of the people who use, actually not say afford. We're talking about fact of people who are using private institution healthcare. 70% are white people.
So that means basically the public sectors are flooded.
Yeah. So hence they are labeling this as apartheid in health system. They're saying we're having an apartheid in health system. That's why they are coming in with the NHI bill, basically.
No, man. When you look at that, man, it's a crisis that does need to be solved, and the NHI can actually probably can, because I see how it works there, where everybody can actually afford good healthcare.
Yeah,
because
it's working, man. In China, it's working, man, and you don't even have to pay that much for healthcare, bruh. And isn't that a good thing in China, dog? You don't even pay that much,
it's like,
you know? Yeah, it's like, bruh, it's like you don't even pay that much. And to think, we would see on our healthcare, if I had family with me here, I can use it. Can you imagine that? Bruh, my family could be on my healthcare, all of them, you know? If they were here, I can put them, you know? So, amen. Yeah, hence I say I agree with it and I'm for it, and obviously I have my provisions because knowing South Africa and the corruption issues that we have, I mean, I would have
But that's an issue that's out of it. But I don't know, it's out of the bill's hands.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how do you stop corruption?
Yeah, but anyway, we still for the NHI in a sense. So both bills so far, what do you think? Do you see though what I was trying to say, how they are contradictory of what Ramaphosa seemed to stand for?
Yeah.
Both of them actually, both the Bela bill, NHI is even worse.
What you said in the beginning.
Yeah, both. Do you see? Yeah, what I was saying in the beginning. It's like it's against everything that he seems to stand for. Both of the bills, just that the NHI is even pushing it. It's even way too far. And I'm not surprised that DA is challenging NHI bill, actually. I'm not surprised. They're asking for Bela bill and NHI to be sent back to parliament. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. I see why that would happen. I mean, now you are saying the rich have to go to public institutions technically, because all institutions will be public in a sense. Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's fucked up crazy. That's fucked up crazy. Just need to take care of themselves, though. They don't have to deal with these things. And that's gonna be it, buddy. Anything you want to say as I close?
No, man. I think it's just one of those things where I guess there are things that need to be given a chance, and perhaps this is also one of those things.
Yeah. Okay. Shots, everyone, and danko, siyabonga.